Hi, my name is Madison Schumacher, and I am a senior taking Senior Sem 1 with Jill. The thinking outside the box that I chose was the one on page 25 with Stephen Hawking. A lot of people probably already know who this is. This guy is very famous. He's really famous for his black hole ideas and just how smart he was. This guy actually really interested me like a long time ago, and a really good movie to watch if you have not seen it, and it's called The Theory of Everything, and it goes through his entire life, and it's actually so interesting. I wish it's one that you could watch like in class, because it is actually amazing how this guy's mind works, and how much he went through, especially with ALS. So in this outside the box, it mostly talks about how in 2014, Hawking publicly recanted a position he had held for the past 30 years, that the gravity of black holes is so powerful that nothing can escape it, not even light. He worked on that theory for 30 years, and he realized that his theory was wrong, and John Preskill's theory was correct. And so he had to change his whole entire idea. The very first question it asks is, discuss what characteristics a good critical thinker has. This is huge, especially with Stephen Hawking, because he was one of the best critical thinkers of our entire time. The way his mind works and the way he solves ideas and solves problems is absolutely fascinating. So to understand exactly what critical thinking is, I found the definition for you. Critical thinking, the objective analysis and evaluation of an issue in order to form a judgment. There are skills with critical thinking, and I outline them here in this photograph. So first you have reasoning, and then you go to evaluating, and then you go to problem solving. And then next you go to decision making, as well as analyzing. And these are just the steps you usually go through in your head for critical thinking. Some characteristics for critical thinkers. Critical thinkers And finally, another characteristic, critical thinkers. For those of you who know who Stephen Hawking is, you can probably relate to some of those characteristics and place them with the way that he was. Absolutely fascinating mind he has. He recently just died. He was still very active in his field up until the day he died. I think what's really important to understand about Stephen Hawking and in the text is that he was such a critical thinker, but he also decided to go back on an idea and realize that he wasn't correct on something that he thought he was for a very long time. And he had to redo his entire process. He was a very, very into black holes, but he also did so many other things. And he also made a lot of progress with ALS and the study of that as well. So the second part of it in the text for the question is, think of a position that you held or still hold that other people challenge you about, but you will not budge on the situation. So just like Stephen Hawking, he did budge on his theory of black holes after 30 years and a lot of research. Something that really comes to mind to me for this is, hello, my grandparents. If you're watching, I love you. But they are very, like, very, 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 very old school. Like, what's a good example? The one that comes to mind the most is they're always like, Maddie, when are you gonna get married and have a whole bunch of kids? And you shouldn't be working. You should find a man, and he'll take care of you, and you just need to take care of your children and stuff like that, which to me is kind of a very old school perspective. And nowadays it's like something I just like won't budge on for them, or even my parents. It's like, I want to get my education. I want to do good for myself. I want to make money for myself. Having kids right away and a family right away is not like a priority. What's a priority to me is like my success. And in my 20s right now is a time for me to be selfish with my successes and my time. And back in the old days, like, that was such a huge ideal that, like, the wife is going to stay home and she's going to cook and clean and take care of the kids while the husband's off working. And then when the husband comes home, it's like dinner needs to be ready on the table. And that's something that my grandparents are, like, very, like, pushy towards with us kids a little bit, just because, like, that's just how their ideal is. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that my ideas have changed and are different. And that's just something, like, it might not be the most in-depth critical thinking, but it's just like a slight example of how those things change. And just like Stephen Hawking, after 30 years, his ideas changed. Thank you so much for watching my video. Like I said, my name is Madison Schumacher. I am in Jill's senior class, the first part, and I did outside the box thinking on page 25 with Stephen Hawking. Thank you.